Hello again, everybody. This is part 2 of my post-study abroad from Prague experience. Today, let's see, what am I gonna try to talk about? Maybe like the big touristy landmark things, and maybe some things that, are kind of off the beaten path. Traveling around not only Prague, but outside of Prague and the Czech Republic. Food, we'll try food. And weather. Weather should be good. So we'll start with weather. How about weather in Prague is very, very similar to, I would say, the Midwest, especially maybe not the upper Midwest. I went in Prague. I left in February, which is usually like the coldest month in the upper Midwest, in Minnesota and Wisconsin. It was not cold at all to me. Except at night. Night is when it did get a little chilly, but definitely not upper Midwest cold. All of my roommates were from the East Coast and the South, were freezing, and they were complaining about how cold it was, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is so warm. There was like no snow in Prague. Actually, the day we arrived, it was sunny, and I didn't even need a jacket. It was like in the 40s, and I'm like, let's get naked. And it was really, really warm. Then again, I was only in there for February, which was the coldest month, because then once it March, April, May, it warms up. But I personally do not think Prague got cold. I think January and February are usually the coldest months for a lot of places. Not cold. But it did get really warm, and they don't have air conditioning typically, and it's brutal. Some restaurants advertise, we have air conditioning, and I'm like, my apartment doesn't. That's the one downside of my rent. It did not have air conditioning. But I wasn't there in like the middle of summer, so it wasn't too bad. It didn't get too hot. Like if I had to walk upstairs, and then like I would get really hot, and then I would just sit in like 10 minutes, and then I'd be fine. But people studying for like the summer semester, they might have a little bit of issues with the heat. But I was fine. I didn't think it was that cold either. But I am from the upper Midwest, so I can't. I come from like the two coldest states, so I can't really speak about what cold is to people, because my definition of cold is very different from Southerners, Easterners, and West Coasters. So it's not, if you're from the Midwest, if you're from the upper Midwest, like Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Prague is not going to be cold for you. But if you are from anywhere else in the U.S., probably going to be a little cold. Just saying. But it wasn't that bad. It also didn't rain or snow really. I feel like Prague has low precipitation, at least when I was there. None of the snow stuck ever, and it only downpoured on me 2 or 3 times, I would say, maybe under 5, and I didn't have an umbrella, and I was totally fine. It would sprinkle more often than downpour, but sprinkling for me is bearable. Like, my hair got a little wet. Like, I don't care about that. But only like heavily downpoured, where I really wish I had an umbrella at that time, like twice. Otherwise, it was sprinkling, light rain, nothing unbearable. So Prague weather, very temperate, very decent. I don't know how hot it gets because I studied during spring semester, but it wasn't too cold and it wasn't too hot. Spring semester, it was really ideal for Prague weather. You could experience all of that. Next up is, I want to talk about food real quick. Prague food is bland. I come from a very culturally rich background and flavorful background for food, considering my mom is Southeast Asian, my dad is Arab, and Scandinavian. Scandinavia, from what I've seen, has bland food as well, but Arabs have a lot of flavorful foods, and Southeast Asians have a lot of flavorful food. So a part of me died on the inside, because Czech food is super, super bland. They're like, oh, have some goulash. And I'm just like, it's just, okay. Like, it's stews. It's heavy and, for me, bland. They have freaking fried cheese. I guess I can't judge fried cheese since I am from Wisconsin and we eat fried cheese curds. But I mean, like, it was like a brick of cheese that they would deep fry. And like schnitzel, which is deep fried meat, which is good, and a lot of potatoes. I will say, I had no bad potato in Central and Eastern Europe. Not a one. All the potatoes were very, very delicious. Central and Eastern Europe, you got your potato game on lock. A+ for your potatoes. But a lot of it's just heavy food, and a lot of it's bland. They do have some Chinese restaurants, but even those I don't think are that good. They do have some Mexican restaurants, which also, they're okay. It gives more flavor than what Czech food does. If you live in Praha 5 around Endel, Burrito Loco. I think there's 2 or 3 Burrito Locos in Prague. One is like in Prague 1 or 2, and the other one is Praha 5, which I live really, really close to it, which is nice. There are some Indian restaurants. I didn't get a chance to eat them because they were kind of out of my price range. There's a lot of Chinese. There were some Vietnamese, which once again, they were okay. They were not up to my standards for Chinese and Vietnamese food, but they did fill like the gap in flavor that I needed. So those are the big. Oh, there's a lot of Italian food. I'm sorry, Italian food kind of gets bland to me as well because a lot of it's just like tomatoes, garlic. Sorry, Italy. At least the Italian restaurants in Prague weren't very that great either. But I'm not big on Italian food because I personally need like lots of flavor. Southern Italian food maybe, but Italian in general, like all this pasta, I'm kind of like, eh. But Prague food, what they call bread dumplings, is literally just steamed bread. Sorry. And they also had fruit dumplings, which was like a strawberry in steamed bread. Also, not that great. Goulash is fine. Goulash is good. Schnitzel is good. I ate the chicken schnitzel. It was good, but not that flavorful. Some of their burgers are pretty good. I don't know. Czech food is just not what I would go out of my way to eat, personally. If you like flavor, Prague and the Czech Republic is not the most ideal, but Prague makes up for it in various aspects. Because there are some like specialty places, like, okay, my mom is Indonesian. There was a lot of Indonesian like food mixes and stuff out in Prague, and I was like, what? I didn't buy any because I'm like, I know how to make Indonesian food, kind of. So it wasn't like, it was surprising because I'm like, it had like rendang mix, mie goreng mix, satay mix, some other stuff too, and I'm like, whoa! And there was some like Indomie and mama noodles that you could buy if you really searched. But overall, Prague food, so bland. But it does fill you up, and it does sit there for a while, sit in your stomach for a while, so it works, and it's not too expensive. Nothing was really too expensive, unless you are going for like international cuisine and like a higher end restaurant, which if you're studying abroad, you're probably a broke college student like me, and you're not going to go for those places. Oh, except they do have like doner kebabs, which are just like, for the most part, they're just chicken gyros. And those are really cheap. They're like 70 to 80 crowns. And they're good. They're quick. They're good. It's easy. A lot of those places also sell pizza. There was one near my apartment, had gyros and pizza, and the pizza was okay. I prefer the gyro because I'm a gyro fan. So it was very good. A lot of them are owned by Greeks. So it wasn't like lammy goodness, but it was chicken, and it was good, especially if you needed something quick and cheap, filling. Doner kebabs. Got you back. Oh, also, eat, like, okay, this kind of food, but it's more like candies and things. Buy Fedorkas, because that's Czech. Buy stuff from Opavia and Orion. Those are the big, like, Czech candy brands. Because, like, of course there's, like, Milka and stuff, but Orion, Opavia are the big chocolate brands, and then, like, Fedorka, which I'm not sure what brand Fedorka's under. It could just be its own Fedorka brand, but there's that. Those have good candy. Just saying. And then there's one pop that's specific to the Czech Republic that came out of communism, and it's Kofola. Kofola isn't for everyone. Because it's kind of I don't want to say like herbally, but it's like, it's very cinnamony. Cinnamony? Yeah, and like nutmeg, it's very like, it's like spiced, and I personally think it was really good. I don't think my sister or her boyfriend liked it. One of my roommates really didn't like it, but two of my other roommates did like it. I don't know about my last roommate. I think she was like indifferent to it. She was like, whatever, I could take it or leave it. But I personally really like kofla. So if you're in the Czech Republic, try kofla, then decide if you like it or not. You know, might as well just try it while you're there. That's one thing with food. Try it. If you don't like it, at least you tried it. You found out what you like and what you don't like. That sort of thing. So still focusing on Prague. The big things to see is obviously Prague Castle, Astronomical Clock, Powder Tower, Charles Bridge, the other like tower thingies. I don't know what that was for. Vyšehrad, I think, is a big one. You don't have to see Vyšehrad, but it's there, especially if you're studying abroad. TV Tower, and just a ton of churches. Prague has a lot of churches. They're not very religious anymore, thanks to how many times they've been invaded. But there are a lot of cathedrals and stuff to see. Prague Castle isn't like a castle. It's like this encompassing thing that has multiple buildings, and then St. Vitus Cathedral. And that's like the main thing within Prague Castle to see. Vyšehrad is also like encompasses things. It's a castle, but it encompasses things. And then you have the main, I can't remember the name of the cathedral, but it's just one main big cathedral. And I haven't been in St. Vitus Cathedral, but I did go into Vyšehrad's cathedral. It's gorgeous. Another kind of smallish church is the one with the infant Jesus. Is that what it is? Infant baby? I don't know. The little doll thing. And it's there, and it's a pretty church. It's small, and it's not as like gorgeous as other ones, but that's there too. Another thing that I would say seeing if you're studying abroad is go to like Campo Park and see the giant faceless babies. I guess now I'm venturing into the more weird, artsy, alternative parts of Prague. Giant faceless babies. That is a big one, I would say, to see, because I was super excited to see them. You'll probably be excited to see them as well. Basically anything David Cherney, I would say go see. Also, I think it's Moostek, the guy on like the upside down dead horse or whatever, that's in like this plaza-ish place. It's like in a mall kind of thing. You see it. If you're there around that area, go see it. I wouldn't say go out of your way to see it, but it's there. Also if you're into graffiti, there's a couple of graffiti places that you can go to. Vltavska is a metro stop, and it's also a tram stop that you can get off. If you get on the 14, it'll take you to Vltavska. There's some like murals and whatever. There's not a lot there. But if you go to Tezhinov, you're also able to get there from the 14, which I think you can only take the 14 to get there. It's a lot of graffiti. It's just like an overpass kind of thing with a ton of graffiti all around there. And it's very cool. I thought so. I'm big on that. I would suggest that. Another big thing to see is Prague's metronome. If you go to Letenska City, which is Letenska Park, I think it's, or garden, something like that. You can take the 20, the 22, the 12. A lot of trams will go up to Kotkovy City, and then if you walk past, I think there are embassies or something, and then you'll get to like this park garden area, and just walk, and there's signs, and I'll tell you. I did vlog this a little bit, which hopefully will go up eventually. It was actually one of my last weeks, so I don't know how soon that's gonna go up. I might insert a clip of it here, but there's signs, and I'll point you to where it goes. So you have to just walk straight for a while, and then you'll get to, it's like the metronome's there, and then it's a skate park kind of deal. So there's graffiti and stickers all over this area, this open area. Like, you have to go upstairs, and then there's this whole like skate park thing, and then you see like that wire with the shoes on it, and then the metronome. Metronome is very cool. Where the metronome is, it used to have the statues of, I think, Stalin, I believe, when it was there. So then they took that down, put the metronome up there now, and it's cool. I mean, it's cool to see. You get a really awesome view of all of Prague from that park. Depending on where you go, if you go up this way, get one, go that way to the metronome, you get one. There's a lot of that. Also, there is a lot of art museums, that contemporary art places that you can go to. If you go to Futura Gallery, which I have gone to see David Cherney's butts, I unfortunately did not go when they were working. I also vlogged this, but once again, it was like probably midway through my study abroad program. It's very cool. Futura is for free, and they just ask like if you're willing to donate, which personally, if you got enjoyment out of the butts and whatever, I can't think of the word, exhibit that they put, if you enjoyed it, I would say donate at least a couple crowns, maybe like 50 or something. I can't remember how much I put in there. I think I put like 70-ish. So that's like $3. It's worth it, especially if you enjoyed it. There was a lot in Futura's gallery. And it was also very close to where I live. It took maybe like 10 minutes from where I live. But you have to go up like this hill, and it's kind of difficult to find. Once again, I vlogged it. Hopefully you'll see that eventually. But it was very cool to see. And then another one that was more expensive is Docks. Also very cool. It has some David Cherney stuff in there, along with other really awesome exhibits. I would suggest going there too. Since you have time, you can go to that art gallery. It was really cool. You have to pay for it, but if you're a student, you get a discount, so it's not too bad. I would say go if you have the time, especially if you're studying abroad, which you'll probably have the time. Just stop in, go through the whole thing. It's really big, and I thought it was really cool. So there's that, which I also vlogged a little bit in there as well. Haha. Also, there's a lot of museums that I would say if you're there for a long time, check them out. My roommate and I, like a week and a couple days ago, we went to the Muka Museum. That was also very good. Pricey, but it was very cool to see. I also went to the Museum of Communism, which I vlogged about. You couldn't take pictures and whatever in the Muka Museum. But in the Museum of Communism, you could. So I vlogged a little bit in there. Also kind of expensive, but also for me, very worth it. It was very cool to see. Very small, but very cool. There was a couple other art galleries I wanted to go to, or like art museum kind of things, but I didn't get a chance to go. But I'm sure if you have time and it's something that you're interested in, you can just kind of look up like Prague alternative sightseeing kind of things. Or like artsy things. Especially if you're into like graffiti and whatever. If you are into graffiti, go to Prague. Please go to Prague. Because when you go to Teznov, that is a legal graffiti site. So I think as long as there's not like a bunch of cars parked around there, you can graffiti. I remember I went with one of my classes. We had to do this subcultures class. I did a subcultures class, and we went there. And then I went back like a week or two later, and it was completely different. I'm like, where'd this go? Where'd this go? And it was very cool because it does change really quickly. It's very, very interesting, I think. Highly recommend if you're into that artsy stuff. But those are kind of like the big things. Oh, also, if you're a fan of David Cherney, like me, I would suggest going to the Meat Factory. It has, I think there's like some plays or performances. There's bands that play there. There's art it's like an all-around really cool space that's used for various things. Some of the shows, like the bands that you go in there, can get kind of expensive, but it was still really cool. They did change the exterior. When I first went with my subcultures class, there were these gigantic cars on the side. But then I went back a couple days before I had to leave, which I also vlogged about this too. They did change it a little bit. A lot of it. They changed it a lot. And it was kind of sad. They took the cars down and they put like these glass jars. I don't know what they were filled with. But they put the glass jars on them. That is cool, but it's still a very cool place to go. I would say go to like a band show at least once, you know. go to a concert at least once there. It's cool. Those are kind of the big things, I think. I did a lot of exploring, actually, my last day, but I can't remember all that I did. It's just sad. If I can think of any other fun touristy things that, like, interesting sights to see, I will write them down in the description bar below. And yeah, so I guess my last topic here is traveling around the Czech Republic and outside of the Czech Republic. Prague is very easy to get to. I already talked about public transportation in part 1 of this post-study abroad thing. Getting to outside of Prague and the Czech Republic is also very easy. You can take trains, buses, and planes. Personally, I didn't have the money for a plane, so I didn't do that. My roommates and I mostly did trains and buses. We bused to Vienna, Berlin. Was that it? Only those two? The rest we took trains? I think so. Trains do take a long time, but they're fun. You get to see a lot when you do trains. The train station, the main one, is Hlavní nádraží, and then the big bus station, one of the main ones, is Florence and Smíchov. Not a lot actually comes from Smíchov, at least international-wise, so we mainly went to Florence, and then trains we did Hlavní nádraží. Through my program, which was CEA, they did excursions, so we did 3 different places. We did Karlovy Vary, which is in the Czech Republic, and Kuna Ora, which is in the Czech Republic, and we took buses there. And then we also went to Krakow, Poland, and we took a bus there as well, which is a long bus ride, but it was really worth it. We did a lot of cool things. It's very easy to get around to other parts of Europe through the Czech Republic. Like, Germany is really, really, really close. To Prague especially, surprisingly close. To get from Prague to Dresden is only 2 hours. Simple. Oh, I forgot. Me and my roommates, as a separate thing, we went to Karlstein. We took a train. If you have an open card, it takes you to a certain part where you only need the open card, but then it stops and then you need to have an actual ticket, which is very nice because it's cheaper when you have your open card to get to Karlstein. If you don't have an open card, it's going to cost you a little bit, I think 20 to 30 crowns more as a ticket to get from Prague to Karlstein, but it's not that big of a difference, but sometimes every little bit helps. But yeah, to get to Germany, 2 hours and you're in Dresden. That's crazy, right? And then another 3 hours you're in Berlin. So it's roughly 5 hours by bus to get to Berlin. We took a train to Budapest. That was 7, 8 hours. Not too bad. We bused to Vienna. That was, I think, 6 or 7 hours. I would not suggest Croatia on train. It takes forever. We went from Prague we stopped in Salzburg, Austria. Then from Austria we went to Zagreb, and then from Zagreb we went to Split. There was a lot of trains, and it took a long time. So obviously the farther you go, the longer it's going to be, and the worse it can be. But for close places like going to Austria, Germany, Hungary, Poland, all very easy to get to. Not expensive at all, really. Cost maybe 60 euros both ways from a lot of those places, so it didn't cost a lot. The only one that cost a lot was going from Prague to Croatia because of all these different things we had to do. Luckily, what we did, if you're a student, like a young student, and you're planning to go somewhere really far by train, it's a good idea to do a Europass, which you're supposed to get some sort of memorabilia from Eurorail, but I've not gotten that yet. Hopefully it comes soon. But what we did that, and it's good when you're a student, but when you're an adult, it's not as good. But students, it's good. And it was like, you can travel 5. You can choose how many days you can travel, and we did, I think, was it 5 or 6 days, So it took us like a day to get to Salzburg, a day to get to Zagreb. Then from that one, we took from Zagreb, Split, so that was another day. And then, oh, it must have been 6 days. Oh no, because we did one, on the way back, we did a really long train. So I guess it was only 5 days, because then we did Split to Zagreb, stayed a night, that's 4, and then Zagreb to Prague, which we went through Graz on the way back, but it was only for like an hour, and then got back on a train and all that stuff. So traveling is very easy, and it's not too confusing, I don't think. So yeah, that's all I can say. It's not bad, especially if you're going with a group of people. Train-wise, if you can get like a cabin kind of thing, where there's like 6 seats and like a door separating everything, and like you're traveling with 5 other people or 4 other people, it's very nice because you get that cabin all to yourself, and basically someone's going to be able to watch out for other people, and then you're going to hear when someone comes in because the door makes a loud whoosh, whoosh, whoosh sound kind of deal, and so it'll wake you up if you all fall asleep anyways. And like conductors are really nice. And for our traveling, we mostly went through Schengen. We did have to get stamped in Slovenia on the way to Croatia and punched into Croatia as well. But I think it's just because Slovenia is not in Schengen or something, or it just requires, I don't know the deal with Slovenia and Croatia, but for the most part we did Schengen, so we didn't have to get anything stamped or anything. You do need your passport though, just to, like, flash them and be like, there you go, and like your ticket, whatever. A lot of times they're like, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, it's very easy. It's not too stressful once you get on these modes of transportation. It's just the whole planning and then getting to the stations is what's kind of stressful, and trying to figure out, am I going to be able to catch this train if I take this train and that stuff. But once you got it all figured out, it's very easy, and it's really gorgeous. I took a lot of pictures and video of just going through all these different areas while we were on the trains and stuff. At least I really tried. But Prague is really easy to get to places. I think I've said that about 20 times in this video. I'm sorry. Now this video is long, so I'm going to cut myself off. I talked about my big points, right? Weather, check. Food, check. Sorry. It's a lot of those corny, stupid, like, check this out. You'll probably love this, and it's just like, stop. Big attractions, like touristy attractions, and traveling. You'll be good. Oh, to go back to like the tourist attractions, for those big ones that are in Old Town and like New Town, I guess, you can see all of those in like a day or 2. They're all very close together and very easy to get to for a lot of those ones. The rest of the stuff, you have to kind of go a little bit out of the way, which also means less tourists, less busy. I also went, for the majority of it, wasn't during like tourist season, like heavy tourist season, so that was also good. But the farther out you go, the less touristy it is, which is very nice. But there's still cool things to see outside of the big tourist things. So yeah, you'll be good. Anyways, that should be all for this video. It's very long, so I'm gonna stop talking, blabbering, rambling. If you enjoyed this video and thought it was helpful, please like this and share it with other prospective study abroad students, especially if there are people that don't know where they're gonna study abroad. Prague is great. Just saying. Share it with those people. And yeah, I don't know what else. Subscribe to me if you want to see more of me and you like me as a person. The way I talk. The way I look. Who knows? Probably not the way I look. But if you like me, subscribe to me. Share this video. Like this. Comment if you have studied abroad. Especially if you studied abroad in Prague. About any other things relevant to the topics I mentioned. Or anything else you want me to talk about. Tell me in the comments below and I will try to get to it. That's all I'm going to do for today. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!